Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Tis I, Jujucy. So, welcome back to another segment of Turban Tea. This is a segment where I'm waiting for my hair to dry, and I just rant about things that are going on in my life. Something that I brought in is a charcoal facial mask. It is supposed to absorb impurities and detoxify my skin, and it smooths skin for a glowing complexion and minimizes pore for soft and supple skin. So I guess I'll talk about school first. School, it wasn't bad this semester, but there are just like a few things that I would comment on. This semester I was taking biology 2 with lab. I took physics 2 lab. I took Spanish 202 and organic chemistry 2 with lab. I personally thought that organic chemistry 2 was probably better than organic chemistry 1 because I felt like I actually learned something this semester, but even then, not really. Ooh, that looks scary. How long am I supposed to leave this on for? 15 to 20 minutes. Okay. I hate the mouthpiece underneath the mask because it's too big for my lips. And so I feel like I'm like suffocating. So where was I? Organic chemistry. Organic chemistry, I really like the reactions, and I feel like the professor, Dr. Shen, she's a great professor. If you're taking organic chemistry too, I would totally recommend her. She really cared about her students and teaching them kind of one-on-one because she had an iPad that she worked with throughout all of her lectures, and so the notes would be in time, so it wouldn't be like you would just be presented with a slide and you would have to take notes. So I thought that was really helpful. I would follow along with her and I would write down the notes, except obviously later on in the semester I got lazy, and then she would post copies of the slides with her notes imprinted on it, and so I would just take those instead. One thing that I'm kind of scared for, though, is I don't feel like I learned enough in organic chemistry 2 in order to be able to do biochemistry well, which is going to be in a month. However, I think that the biology part of biochemistry is going to save my butt. I hope. Biology 2, fantastic. Great professor. Her name is Dr. Saldanha. The only thing that I would complain about is that she's a little slow with her lectures, but that's not a bad thing. She's just, overly detailed in everything that she did, to the point where we didn't get to photosynthesis, which could be an issue, but also I feel like most of the things that she went over I already learned in high school, so it wouldn't be too big of a deal anyway. I don't really remember many of the organelles from photosynthesis though. Oops. Yeah, and then another thing that I would say is for the lab portion of biology 2, they're very harsh on the grading, I would say. They weren't really harsh because we're in an online setting, but they wanted just more and more details, like nothing was enough for them. Our annotated bibliography, they looked over it probably 3 times and we still got, I think it was like an 18 out of 20. And they said that that was one of the top grades in the class. There really aren't any tips and tricks when it came to organic chemistry 2 and biology 2. You really just had to attend the lectures, and then you didn't really need to do much else other than, doing the work outside of class, blah, 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 blah. Spanish 202, I loved that class because unlike the other classes before, we weren't just learning vocabulary anymore. We were learning like actually how to communicate with foreign speakers, because we did communicate with foreign speakers. There's a website called Talk Abroad that we used this semester, and basically what that is it's a website where you go in and you choose the language that you're going to be using, and then they give you credits, and you have to pay for the credits, but you pay for the credits, and then you look through the profiles of all the native speakers and like the country where they're from, like topics that they're interested in, and you can find, you know, whoever you find the most in common with, and then you schedule an appointment for whatever date you're free at whatever time. You sign on, and it's kind of like a Zoom or a FaceTime, and you sit there and you talk for them for 30 minutes, and then it gives you the transcripts so that you can look over what you talked about with them. So overall, I thought it was really useful. I feel like I learned more this semester than I did in the 3 semesters that I had before this. And yeah, not that I'm fluent in Spanish at all, but I'm a little closer. Physics lab basically didn't exist. I took physics 1 and 2 over last summer, and I died. It was so bad, it was hard. And that's why I'm scared to take biochemistry, because I'm also taking that at Rutgers. If you couldn't tell, I go to Michigan State, but I'm taking summer courses at Rutgers because I'm in state, so it's easier that way. And Rutgers is known for its physics department, and I think it's known for its biochemistry department, but so far the reviews that I've found online aren't great, especially since we're in an online setting, so we'll see. Other than that, in terms of work, I don't know if I actually talked about this, I work as a physical therapy aide, and being a physical therapy aide was probably one of the best decisions that I made this year overall. I started working in September, and throughout the job, it really depends on the facility that you're working in, but the facility that I'm in, they really give you more freedom than a normal aide, like the normal description of an aide, because the normal description of an aide is that you just clean up after the physical therapist, you do whatever the physical therapist asks you to do, which is still true in the job, but the description doesn't really speak much for the job itself, because it's not like you don't have any contact with the patient at all. You have more contact with the patient than the physical therapist does, other than when the physical therapist has to go and massage the patient. And so we have iPads, and what we do is we go in and we have the schedule of the patients, and then you go to a patient and it pulls up their flow sheet, which has like a long list of exercises. I feel like it's just like a lot of multitasking, because you have to clean up the equipment and the things that they use, and you're dealing with multiple patients at once. I've dealt with probably up to 6 patients by myself, and you know, you have to communicate to the patient what exercises they need to do, and you kind of give them multiple at once, especially if you're trying to multitask with more patients, because it's almost impossible to do single exercises with each patient, because when you're looking at another patient's exercises, another patient is done and they're looking at you like, what the fuck am I doing? But I truly love each and every one of the patients that I work with, and over time, the list of exercises becomes kind of memorized, like what equipment they need, what bands they need, you know, what weight they're using on certain exercise machines, and then you can really enjoy the time talking and communicating with the patients rather than worrying about memorizing the exercises. Because I struggled so hard in September, and they didn't think that I'd make it. they were nervous for me, but I pulled through. Yeah, it's just been so much fun. The other day, because you know the patients don't stay there forever. The other day was one of the patients that I usually work with. She got discharged, and she gave me a gluten-free bundt cake, which I thought was the cutest thing in the world. She was like, my daughter's gluten-free, and I remember us talking about it, and I just wanted to know how much I appreciate everything you've done for me over the course of you know, her improving. And I was like, oh. And this is why I love doing what I do, because the patients appreciate it so much. Like, they come in, you know, they have a shoulder injury, they may not be able to elevate their shoulder past this much, you know, and then by the end of it they're able to extend their shoulder, and you can see the progression of I guess their mobility or whatever they're dealing with, and it's just the best feeling in the world. And that's why I'm kind of struggling, because I don't know what I want to do in terms of graduate school. You know, I'm still between, I don't really think med school is going to be a thing. I keep kind of like thinking about it, but I don't think that that's going to happen, because I really want to start working as soon as possible. And with becoming a doctor, you probably won't start working until you're 30. You can kiss your 20s goodbye. And so it's really between physical therapy school and PA school, and the one thing that it really comes down to is pay. But the thing is, I don't really care about pay that much. I could work at Target and work more and make more than I'm making at the physical therapy place. But I don't want to, because it's just not as fulfilling, and so I'm stuck. And that's where I am with that. Yeah, and nothing else is really going on. I guess just to tie up some loose ends on this channel, Top Tier Dancer didn't really happen. I kind of lost motivation for that. I think I like Dance Dance Revolution more, because I don't think I've talked about Dance Dance Revolution, but I love Dance Dance Revolution because it's just a mat, and you just have the forward, the backward, and the side buttons, and you just use those. I feel like dancing is so complicated, and I'm definitely gonna try getting back into it, but so far that hasn't happened. Exercise journey, I kind of had to take a break because of school, but I'm in it to win it. It's time to get my summer body back. I'm hoping that I'll actually succeed this time, kind of getting just a little bit more toned. I don't really care about weight loss. It's mostly just, you know, seeing like the muscle definition. Oh, I love that so much. I hate the veins though. The veins really disgust me. I do want to continue cooking. I think I really want to work more on cooking this summer, because I don't know how to, and I'm living in an apartment next semester, which you guys will hopefully join me on. I want to be able to bake. One thing that I've always wanted to make, but it's literally impossible at the cooking level that I'm at, is omuraisu, which is like a classic Japanese dish where it's like you have an omelet, but the omelet is made a certain way so that when you slice it on the top, the egg kind of like just falls right on top of the bed of rice that it's on. And I probably didn't describe it well enough, but you can look it up. It's, I think, OMU. I'm not even gonna try and spell it. I'm so bad at spelling. Don't quote me on that. But I'll probably put it in the description below. Is it time? I'm kind of getting itchy. I think it's okay. Ooh. But yeah, that was basically my semester. I am now officially a junior, and I'm going to be the vice president of the Honors College Activities Board next year, so I don't know who's watching these, but you're gonna have a good time if you go to the Honors College Activities Board. And then I'm also going to be the social chair for Project Let's, which is a mental health club on campus. I'm super excited. And then I'm also going to try out for the softball club team again. Because I was kind of holding off because I wanted to see if I could get a position as an undergraduate learning assistant, but I unfortunately didn't get that. But it's not too late. Some people might reject their positions and then they could ask me. But for now, I have some more time on my hands. So I'm gonna try that, and then I'm also gonna try and email some people to see if I can get a research position, which would be super cool if I could get that. Anyway, this video is getting too long, but I thought that I'd just give an update. Welcome to the summer. Hopefully I'll be sending out more consistent videos, but I never know. It really depends on how I feel. But that is the end of Turban Tea. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, then like the video. And yeah. Peace out, Scouts.